Salutations everyone, thank you so much for taking this opportunity and time to watching this video in particular. I wanted to encompass the purpose of this video to saying a happy birthday, happy 28th birthday to myself as of this month. My birthday will be the 21st of February. And with that being said, anyone who knows me personally or just anyone in general is more than welcome to spend time with me on the day of my birth, or otherwise, if it's weekday, that is not a positive thing, considering like everyone works, have school, and otherwise we would have to celebrate on a weekend when everyone has a lot more time, obviously. And with this video also encompasses of my personal gratitude to every one of you, to those who watches our videos. And today, yes, I am at the Japanese garden at the Botanical Gardens in Alabama. This video, I wanted to personally say that we forever are grateful for everyone who watches our videos, for all the continuation of your positive support, for your faith in us and otherwise, and for continuing to believe in us in everything that we do in our channeling and our videos and everything that embodies itself as a collective consciousness of coexistence. And that's the ultimate agenda, that's the fire that sparks and ignites and inspires me personally into crafting our videos. It's not for the views or the revenue or otherwise, it's more of helping to express the freedom of art and individuality, and promoting self-conscious awareness of how we could together in our bonded coexistence, how we could change the world around us and within ourselves, and how oneself does not particularly need the idealism of religion or otherwise. It's more of, well, it's essential, yes, but however, in order to be a positive human being, you're even a balance as myself. I'm embodiment of balance between darkness and light, and ultimately it depends upon the intention of your heart for who you are. And as humanoid celestial beings as ourselves, our consciousness and our purpose as starseeds or light workers in this world is to help the progression of mankind around us. And everything that I do and what we do on behalf of Jen and myself, we are alive and breathing in this purpose to celebrate cultures, to celebrate our independence, to celebrate one another. It is just as much as possible from the human side of ourselves to constantly adapt towards the future and try to find a way to perceive the light and the positive energies and the perspectives of each human being in the world. And it, honest to God, it's one of the hardest things to do in life. And balance is everything that channels through who I am. And as our videos, we channel our human emotion through technology and social media or otherwise in order to progress in a natural awakening of the world around us, and share our philosophical idealism and how we could benefit from one another, deriving imagination, artistic integrity, spirituality, or otherwise. And myself, being a shamanic practitioner, we are theosophists, and basically encompassing religion, science, spirituality, and philosophy together. Inevitably, whether people choose to stay inside the realm of their judgments and their outward judgments or inward judgments from within or upon one another, as a modern society, the ultimate truth will still unravel itself. The truth of it is that we have to find ways to push against the inertia of judgments in itself. And this radical idealism of how people choose not to collectively coexist, if that makes sense. We have to find a way to remove the blindfold in our apathy to try to help one another as much as possible. And as a practitioner of alchemy magics and different alchemy, like magical works, I have published a book ultimately describing the journey of within, of astral projection, of ethereal projection, of many different forms of meditation, and finding that balance and the oneness within that completion of oneself, within me personally. And I've traveled the cosmos of the universe for quite some time. I've saved from almost my entire life. And there's so much to discover in the infinite realms of the limitless universe. There's so much to discover even within ourselves. And each single day is a progression in its own awakening. And we have to find a way to balance the energies of the universe and of the earth, the planet all around us and within ourselves. And whether people choose to believe it or not, there's actually energy and consciousness all around us. There, as such, the rocks here, there are energy within every single thing around us, whether you choose to believe it or not. And the purpose why we create videos is positive insight of inspiration through influence, and how we could benefit not only ourselves but of everyone else around us who chooses to open the airwaves of their mind and consciousness to what we have to say and what we incorporate into our videos, and not only behind the lens of a camera but also in reality perspective as well of everything that we do. And everything that we do holds a significant purpose. There's no irrelevancies of any kind. And I find the balance within in each day that I am alive and I breathe the air. And as a Palladian light worker among Earth, I find that is my sacred purpose to, in our devotion, to channel ourselves so that may we find others that are similar to ourselves, or at least like-minded or open-minded enough to where they choose to open their eyes and to somehow disconnect from the matrix, somehow disconnect the signal of perpetual imbalances and of a materialistic humanity that we unfortunately coexist within. And we wanted to thank you so very much, everyone, on your behalf, for continuing to watch our videos, for everything that you do on our behalf. It would mean the world to us if you shared our videos, and whenever you leave a like, and whenever you tune in to watch our video as much as possible. And I realize and understand that everyone has a rather chaotic but busy schedule, and there's so much more to life than what we think exists. There's so much more to life than everything that we have led ourselves to manifest, to believe in our upbringing. And a lot of my time I actually devote myself to, I live a rather simple life. I live a simple life to where I do not believe in materialism. I devote my passion and intensity and my fire and everything that I do into creating our videos and to traveling the world around us, and whether the physical realm, the plane of existence, or by which means the plane of existence in the spiritual perspective. I devote my time to nature as much as possible, devoting myself to learning of all the infinite knowledges of the world around us. Every single day is a constant learning process, and you honestly never stop learning. Unless if you so willingly choose to shut your mind off and down from the world and separate your consciousness away from knowledge itself of what and how you should learn of the world around you. And we live in a world of society where people are so blinded by religion, blinded by so many different aspects of life and trivialities and sick fixations on different perspectives and protocols of the human mind and consciousness that delves into the abuse of technology, of so many different things. And not to contradict myself, that I incorporated a camera, which is obviously technology, into channeling, but it's more of a channeling of an outreach, but I use it in such a positive perspective that it in itself is a liberating experience and a reward in itself. By means of technology is a way to how to travel the world, how you put your voice out there, your spoken word, your tongue is a tool, a device that you use to harness the energy all around you of how to connect to the world around you, and how you could embody that into the systematic perspective of how oneself breathes or coexists and lives life. Human existence is so fragile, it's so meaningful. At the same time, so many things in the world is so meaningless. So ultimately, everything has energy all around us. And if you think about it, you have to breathe into the limitless universe around you. How you find that it's all up to the individual perspective. There's so much beauty to be manifested into the world, but I see so little of humanity incorporating that essential vitality and beauty into our own sacred lives, into the universe, into nature itself, into the world around us, of all the spiritual and of all the energy that's constantly all around us. Often at times or another, I find it so complicated and difficult to find myself to believe or have faith in the world around me, which is often why I'm nihilist or misanthropic. My entire life I have witnessed the accounts of war, of poverty, of all the chaos and human destruction that we have led ourselves continually to spiraling downwards. We have a voice, but then again we don't have a voice. And we have so much freedom in the world that we should be able to project and manifest that divine spark of inspiration into the universe and upon one another. And further and foremost, always be proud to be a nonconformist. Be proud to be who you are as an individual. Individuality in art and imagination is key, essential into the progression of or natural awakening towards the universe of the future. And there's not enough of people that actually, human beings, mortal beings, that believe in themselves or believe in one another or even embrace the consciousness of their natural self and their heart. And you have to find a way to find that balance, and everything's a balance in the world ultimately, whether if you believe it or not. So I mean, it's crazy what you find in everything around you. Everything has life to it, and if you believe it or not. There's so many people all throughout my life who had criticized me, who had judged me without the incentive of getting to know you for who you are as a human being. And they still continue to judge me personally. You know, to people, now I should rather say human nature always has a tendency to understand less or judge something that they know nothing of. And they have no understanding simply because they never open their consciousness to ask questions, to learn from. And I myself, I believe in a divine creator and a supreme being and a divine providence of God. However, I choose to not shove my beliefs down anyone's throats. I choose to allow human beings the independence of their own nature to believe in what they will and do what thou will, just like Aleister Crowley had said once. In addition to that, I myself, I borrow a collection of different fragments and pieces of religion, of spirituality, and it in itself becomes a coexistence. It in itself is what I embodied into us as theosophy. And in itself, coexistence is what allows the world to become in itself. It expands itself in its awareness. It then becomes everything and nothing. And if you think about it, God is either he or she or an it. Ultimately, with all due respect, God is not somewhere up in the clouds. He's actually the consciousness of matter that exists all around us constantly, ever so surrounding. Whether if you see it or not, or if you choose to believe it or not, that's all up to the perception of the individual itself, or him or herself. I like to believe that coexistence would actually one day unite us all. United we stand, divided we fall. And spirituality is all around us, every single place that you see that exists. In coexistence, if we practice diversity, equality through unity, and equality in consciousness, in coexistence, practice tolerance, we find and discover that freedom and that true light manifests itself, where we could actually bond together as one and stop living in not diversity, I was meant to say segregations and isolation, where we have one religion to bash or judge someone who does not believe in the same thing as he or she does, or believes in a divine being or not, or the left or right, or up and down, or left or whatever. As above, so below. And if we stop living in judgment towards one another, the better the world around us would actually become. There's so many contradictions to so many different religious aspects. And, you know, it's one thing I don't really talk about in my videos is religion or politics for obvious reasons. I just had to create this one video. And as regretful as I probably will be in creating it, you know, it's just like judgment in general has got to end. We need a cease and desist order of how people judge one another. There's so many people that judge me based upon my outward appearance and my inward appearance, and of what I do not believe in, or what I should or supposed to believe in according to the Christian orthodoxes of religious perspectives, ideologies, or belief structures. And it's not how the world is supposed to operate and function in itself. We're supposed to manifest within ourselves in search of light and of more light, and being able to find and discover that freedom and that balance. It ultimately comes down to whether people want to choose to believe it or not. We are inevitably and ultimately and always forever will be, and always have and always will be, a balance. A balance is what I incorporate into my life. I'm light, and I embody darkness. I'm just as balanced as you see. This you have to open your third eye in your consciousness, and there's just a balance. You have to find this medium. And so much of our videos, what we have a passion of fire for, is to... I myself, I suffer with a lot of anger at times. I suffer with human emotions. And as I had spoken in my previous video, my depression, it was entitled, I am bi-species sexual, being a light worker among Earth, which is ultimately true. I talked a lot about my human emotions and how I convey and channel that into the therapy and art, into releasing it into creating our videos, so that we could go out and reach out to inspire people in general, the world in itself. There's so much beauty to be manifested in the world. I wanted to personally thank every one of you for believing in us, for all your positive reimbursements. In itself is truly incredible. And as we continue to wander upon the physical plane of this human existence, as you continue to watching our videos, and that means the absolute world to us. It holds a consciousness that's so finite yet so infinite, and it just delves like closer into our heart, and we truly appreciate all that you do for us, and everything that who you are and what you are. Who you are and what you are is painted in the allegory of so much of its beauty, and imperfection in itself is beautiful and flawless, I believe. That's one of my philosophies. Well, namaste everyone. Salutations, and please share our videos with others. Please subscribe. I hope that somehow this video had opened your eyes or helped inspire you to elevate your consciousness, your mood, your every fiber being of existence, of everything that channels and embodies who you are. So please share our videos, subscribe, open your third eye.